Welcome to another episode where we talk about the latest cybersecurity news and how it impacts you and your business. My name is Reginald Andre, and I'll be your host. And today we're talking about a topic that's been making headlines and raising alarms across the nation. And that's the massive social security breach in Coral Springs, Florida, that's compromised 2.9 billion records, and that's billion with a B. So, whether you're a business owner trying to protect your company's data or a consumer worried about your personal information, this episode is for you. We'll be breaking down what happened, what it means for you, and more importantly, what steps you can take right now to safeguard your information. So, before we get started, I'm going to play a quick video that is going to give a breakdown of what happened. This is from our friends at CBS for Miami.
A class action lawsuit has been filed in federal court in Fort Lauderdale in connection to the massive data breach that compromised the Social Security information of more than 3 billion Americans. A California man filed the suit against the Coral Springs-based National Public Data, a company that collects personal data to resell, also processes background checks. The plaintiff claims the company failed to, quote, properly secure and safeguard the personally identifiable information that it collected and maintained as a part of its regular business practices. Experts advise.
All right. Thank you again, CBS News, for giving us that information. So, this is going to be an interesting story. I've been covering cybersecurity. I've been in IT for 15 years. And this one is interesting because how exactly it happened is going to be blow your mind. So earlier this year, a sophisticated cyber attack targeted the system containing all of these social security records, resulting in the 2.9 billion social security numbers being released into the dark web or to hackers. So apparently, according to reports, the attackers or hackers exploited a vulnerability in the system software that had gone unnoticed. Now, this breach didn't come from the standard way of when a company finds out that there was some type of breach, and then they now say to the consumers to like, hey, we're sorry, but we just realized that there was a cybersecurity incident or attack. No, this was from a consumer who discovered that something was wrong because he uses identity monitoring software. One that we don't promote any of them, but LifeLock is the most popular one, and we'll talk about what they do. But their identity monitoring software alerted them that there was an unusual activity linked to their social security number. Now, these softwares, if you don't know what they do, anytime your social security number is used, they send you an alert. So if you were going to the retail store, if you were buying a house or whatever the case is, and your social security number is going to be used, if you're opening up a credit card with the retail, for example, they're going to alert you that something happened, right? So the software was able to trace the suspicious activity, and they're talking about the the identity monitoring software, to National Public Data, which is NPD, and they're based right here in Coral Springs. Now, something else interesting. If you've been watching my channel for for a few weeks or months, you'll notice that in the last, I don't know, 5, 6 weeks, I've been covering stories out of Florida, specifically South Florida. First, we had the Florida Department of Health with the big data breach, which exposed a lot of sensitive health information to about Florida residents, and primarily Broward County. Second, we had One Blood, which is the company that donates, when you want to donate blood, and they're usually in front of the supermarket, they'll give you movie tickets. They got breached. Third was City of North Miami, which I'm still covering. It's been almost 3 weeks now, and they're still dealing with a ransomware. And now we have this. So four in the last 5, 6 weeks of things. So of cyber breaches. So the consumer, he realized, okay, thanks for letting me know that my social security being is used, but hey, I don't have anything to do with Coral Springs. And when he reported this to say, this wasn't me, that identity monitoring service did further investigation, and as they were starting to realize, is that holy moly, this is part of a larger breach because now we're seeing all of these social security numbers pointing back to NPD. And when they realized this, this is when everything went haywire, and this is why this particular individual is now doing a class action lawsuit. So this incident highlights not only how sophisticated these hackers are and how modern these cyber attacks are getting, but also why you have to remain vigilant when it comes to your social security number and your data. So you're watching this and now you're like, wow, this is crazy. What should I do? How do I now protect my information this if I was in there? How do I even know? So I'm going to be listing in the comments how to check to see if your social security is being compromised. And this website, and maybe I should have done a live on that, but basically what this website does is it asks you for your first name, your address, the year you were born, and maybe your zip code. I can't remember the zip code, but I know for sure it asks you first name, last name, year you were born. And from there, it's going to check the database and it's going to let you know if your social security number was compromised or not. Now, let's just say you're on the list. First thing I'm going to do that I would recommend is placing a fraud alert or even a credit freeze with the three major credit bureaus, which are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. This will make it harder for identity theft to happen because now if someone was going into the retail store and trying to open up a credit card under your name, it's going to search your social and it's going to say, well, there's a freeze on your account. We have to call you through a third party, and then we just need to make sure it's you. Well, because the bad guy doesn't have your cell phone, it's going to now block that person from doing that. Another thing that you should be doing is monitor your financial statements regularly. This company not only had the social security numbers compromised, but you had the first name, last name, date, for all of that information. And believe it or not, still in 2024, you can still, there's identity theft where people will actually open up bank accounts under your information. They will actually go to the bank, say I'm John Smith. This is my, make a fake social, make a fake driver license for the sake of opening up a fake bank account. And what they then do is they do fraudulent transactions with those bank accounts. And if you haven't already, I always recommend enabling two-form factor authentication on all your important accounts, your bank accounts, your emails, anything that has sensitive information. Make sure you do that. So that's what you should be doing as a consumer. Now I want to talk about the impact on a business. And if you're a business owner, you're running a business, especially one that handles sensitive information, this should be a wake-up call to you because just how easy it was for these hackers to find that vulnerability in their systems and get in simply can happen to you. So the first thing that you should do is that you should invest in a strong cybersecurity infrastructure, up-to-date firewalls, encryption, secure cloud storage solutions. I always tell my clients, IT budget and cybersecurity budget are two different things. Don't look at IT as cybersecurity and don't look at cybersecurity as IT. Second thing that you should do is conduct regular security audits. So this company, I'm sure, MPD, had a IT company. Let's just even give them the benefit of the doubt because of the sensitive information. They had a cybersecurity company. Well, it's highly always recommended that you have a third party security audit. And what this does is it provides a third party who has nothing to do, no special interest, and they are going to see if they can hack your system. They're going to do what is called penetration testing, vulnerability testing, and they're going to see how easy it is for your systems to be compromised, your computers, your emails, special software you have. And then they're going to provide a report to the CEO, to the board. Even many times the IT director sits in the meeting, and they're going to say, "This is what we found." And I would always also take this as positive because Many times you may have a great relationship with your IT and cybersecurity company, but you just need someone to verify what they're doing. And the cybersecurity and IT company or your IT director, they should not feel threatened by someone else coming onto the network. They should actually be happy because it's a service that is being done for the betterment of you, the business owner. And many times there are some things that are caught that then can now be fixed before the cyber criminal finds out themselves. Another thing that you could do if you have sensitive information is have a response plan. Now, this company, NPD, has not been doing a good job. They're letting the news kind of dictate what's been happening. If a breach does occur, you have to have a plan as far as media. How do you respond to the media? How do you respond to your clients? 2.9 billion social security numbers are out there. How are you now going to notify 2.9 billion people? Some of them may have passed away. Some of them, it could just be, I mean, it's just so much different people. How are you going to now notify them? How are you now going to make sure that you provide monitoring services for them? I hope your insurance can cover this because even if you did, I'm not a math guy, I was a C student, but even if you did credit monitoring for 1 year, for 2.9 billion people. Let's just say 2 billion people. Let's just say 1 billion people that you now have to pay a third party monitoring service. And that third party monitoring service is $100 a year, let's just say. I mean, that what if it's a billion, is that 100 billion? I think so. My math there. So this is again just a unfortunate situation. And this just highlights a bigger problem in our society that we have to stop relying on social security numbers. I think social security numbers have been around since what 1940s, and think about how everything has evolved. Everything such as cars, planes, technology, but social security numbers still come old school looking card with those digits on the card. There's no extra security with the Social Security. There's no two-factor. Do we move it to biometrics? What are we going to do with the Social Security? Because there's no way we can just continue to allow people to use, these numbers to then go out and open up credit cards, open up bank accounts, just like that. So, thank you so much for tuning in to our podcast. If you found this episode helpful, please share with others who might also benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode, where we'll continue to explore the critical issues in cybersecurity and what you can do to stay safe. All right. Good night, everyone.